It began as most mysteries do, with a dinner. New York City, 1949. A well-dressed man sits at a restaurant table, dabbing his lips with a cloth napkin, preparing to pay his bill, and realizing he has no cash. Embarrassed, helpless, humiliated. That one moment would spark a financial revolution, one that would quietly change the world. But what if I told you that wasn't the whole story? That the birth of the credit card had less to do with convenience and more to do with control, surveillance, and war. This is the origin story of the first credit card and the secrets it never wanted you to know. Our story begins at Major's Cabin Grill, a now defunct steakhouse in Midtown Manhattan. The year is 1949. A man named Frank McNamara, a successful New York businessman, is dining with clients. He enjoys his meal, impresses his guests, and then the bill arrives. Frank reaches into his pocket and freezes. No wallet, no cash. His wife eventually bails him out, literally. She drives down to the restaurant and pays his tab. Most of us would forget this moment, a blip, a blunder. But Frank turns it into $1 billion idea. With his lawyer, Ralph Schneider, and a friend named Matty Simmons, he creates something the world has never seen before. A small cardboard card that allows you to buy now and pay later. They call it the Diners Club card. At first, it's good at just 27 restaurants in New York, but it spreads fast. Convenient? Yes. But was it really all about that dinner? Or was it just the story the world was told? Here's the part that usually is never spoken of. Frank McNamara wasn't just embarrassed. He was connected, deeply, politically, and financially. He knew the emerging powers shaping America's post-war economy. And Diners Club wasn't the first attempt at delayed payment. Not even close. As early as the 1910s, department stores were issuing courtesy cards to preferred customers, but these only worked in-house. And in the 1920s, some gas stations used metal plates, called charge-it cards, for truckers and travelers. But here's the twist. During World War II, the US military experimented with a more unified system of transaction, one that could track spending, monitor movement, predict behavior. By the late 1940s, the government was deeply interested in consumer data, and banks were quietly testing ways to collect it. Some say Diners Club was just a coincidence. Others say it was a test balloon. The real money didn't pour in until the banks got involved. In 1958, Bank of America launched the Bank AmeriCard in Fresno, California. It was a disaster. At first, they mailed out 60,000 cards unsolicited, and fraud exploded. But it was the beginning of mass credit, a new American experiment. Soon, the Bank AmeriCard would evolve into Visa. Another group launched MasterCharge, which would later become MasterCard. But buried in all this innovation was something far more powerful than currency. Data. For the first time in history, corporations and banks knew what you ate, where you traveled, what you wore, even how often you bought flowers. Convenience? Yes, but also surveillance. A private intelligence network built not by spies, but by consumers, willingly. Here's the sinister beauty of the credit card. It doesn't just give you money, it changes your brain. Studies show we spend significantly more when using cards instead of cash. The pain centers in our brain don't activate the same way. So we swipe and tap and buy. The system was designed not just to lend, but to ensnare. By the 1980s, the average American household carried thousands in credit card debt. And banks? They weren't just profiting. They were engineering products to maximize it. The longer the debt stayed, the more interest piled up. A slow, silent bleed. Credit cards weren't a tool. They became a trap. And it all started with a dinner bill. Today, there are over 22 billion credit cards in circulation, more cards than people on Earth. From Nairobi to New York, from Mumbai to Milan, the credit system stretches across borders, cultures, and even politics. China launched its own networks, so did Russia. And digital currency? A new frontier, but the same idea. Track, spend, repeat. The card may disappear, but the system? It's here to stay. Frank McNamara's story is still told in boardrooms and business classes. A man who forgot his wallet and changed the world. But now you know better. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a moment of opportunity, seized by those who saw more than just profit. They saw control. They saw patterns. They saw us. And that dinner? It's still going. We're all at the table. And the check still hasn't come. Take care, spender. And remember to pay your bill.